What's up, y'all? Welcome to Political Fight Club. I'm Robert Durden, and this is the episode you've been waiting for. We are unveiling the INN, finally. This is the big surprise I told you guys about and alluded to in a couple of other episodes. In the details on that, I have joined a network. It's called the Indie News Network, INN, and it is true independent media. The model that we're using, I think, is wonderful. It's kind of like what I've always told you guys I'd like to be a part of on this show, is a network that you can, we're all going to contribute to it, but we all 16 channels and authors that we have signed up to do it, they all do their own work on the side as well, their own shows, their own substacks, sometimes both. And then we're going to do extra content for the INN, like we're going to do a lot of roundtables, a la the Fred Hampton leftists. We're going to have on a whole bunch of other people from other networks, other channels, and just, guests, special guests across the board. And then there's going to be some content that I do exclusively for INN where I'm hoping to, and we'll see, do call-ins, like a show where I'm on the air once a week or twice a week, where I have people call in and ask me questions like old radio shows used to do. David Pakman does something similar, but I'll be way better at it than he is. So I'm hoping that'll be the case. This is my family. We're going to treat it that way, and that's kind of like the idea of it all, is that it's zero corporatism, and it's not about business. It's all about creating a network that moves forward and grows together and backs each other up. And if you want to walk away for a while, you're allowed to, no problem whatsoever. So it's just a hub for people that already do content to meet up and produce more content together. So that's the Indie News Network in a nutshell. It's wonderful. We use democratic consensus for all of our decisions going forward, which is, I talked to Kamali Rose on... He's one of the Fred Hampton leftists now. I've spoken to him before about this, and he seems to think this is a good way to go, and I agree. He convinced me on that show that I had a conversation with him about it. So we're going to be doing democratic consensus for everything, which is, I think, the way to go. So I think it's going to be a wonderful growing experience. But without further ado, this is my INN family as it stands. There's 16 channels. Please sub to all of them. Go check out their substacks and whatnot. I would really appreciate it, and you won't be let down. These are wonderful people that create wonderful content. So in a couple of them, I've actually ranked before, and you'll recognize them. So we'll start off here with Kobe, the pro-peace report. He was recently on JB's show, I think on the Fred Hampton Leftists, for an interview. That's where I first heard of him, and he's joined. He does the pro-peace report, which is wonderful. I just subbed to him like a couple of days ago. And I watched one of his episodes. He is going places. I'm really happy to have him on board. Welcome, Kobe. And then we've got Reid. She's going to be writing Substack articles, and she's doing her own podcast as well. The Politics of Survival is what it's called. So welcome, Tara. I'm happy as ever to have you on board. Wonderful, wonderful. We also have Elias Cepeda. He's a writer. He does a Substack, and he talks politics, but also sports. So that's pretty awesome. Then we've got Todd Be the Change. He's had me on his show before. I've ranked him before. He does awesome political content, very similar to mine, but he also is a horticulturalist. So he also does a lot of videos on like how to grow your own food and, live as a minimalist, which I think is wonderful and very useful information, especially as we head into the apocalypse in America here in the next 5-10 years. So that's Todd Be the Change. We've got Bess from Millennial Splainin'. I was on her show as well. She has not uploaded that video, but she says she's still going to. We had a great time. She's a wonderful lady, and I'm so happy to have her on board as well. And then Lucy from Blue Moon Red Wine. As you know, I've ranked her before. Her numbers don't lie. She's raking right now, and she always has. She has a great show. She's going to be doing some exclusive content with us as well. A lot of roundtables, I imagine, so I'm going to have a lot of conversations with her coming up. We got Colin at Komawo Mukwano. You may know him as Colin Radix Carter on Twitter. So he's a wonderful guy as well. I've been talking a lot with him on Discord. I'm super happy to work with him in the future as well. Great to have you on board, Colin. And then we have Tatami's Diary. She is a Twitch streamer. I only spoke to her once. I believe that's what she does primarily, so I don't know exactly what she's going to be doing, but she does a good Twitch stream. So Tahtahme's Diary. We also have Gnomes for Truth, or the writer Sebs Solomon. She does a great Substack as well. So that link will be below. I just read one of her most recent articles that came out on the 5th. It was awesome. So I don't know if she's going to do her own show as well, but definitely some good writing. That's Gnomes for Truth or Sebs Solomon. And then we've got Noli D. You guys all know Noli D. Everybody knows Noli D. Love you, Noli. Welcome aboard. Reef Breland, he was one of the guys that talked to me about getting into this in the first place. I've been talking to him for months now. He's going to be doing a show called Reefer After Dark, and he also has done a lot of collaboration with Uncle Warren. He's Extra Bulla. And he's the next one. He's also on board. Uncle Warren is Extra Bulla. They do a lot of collaboration together, and they did a really great episode I watched a couple of days ago that was off the charts good. So, Reef, thank you for everything, buddy. Really appreciate you. You too, Uncle Warren. And then we've got Daryl from Black in the Empire. That's his Twitter account. He's very, very popular on Twitter. Everybody follows him. He is going to be, I believe, doing a show. I don't know exactly. We have to kind of collaborate and decide who's going to be or how he's going to do shows, because he's like me where he doesn't really know how to get this stuff up and running yet, but we're helping him with that. And if I can do this as simply as I can on my iPhone, I'm pretty sure that he can do it too. He was also on Uncle Warren's show recently, and they did a great episode together. I highly recommend you check that out. That's Extra Bulla. And Black in the Empire, that's Daryl. And then we've got Indie Left Media, or Indy himself, the guy who came up with this idea. He's doing his own show. He's the guy who got in contact with me very early on. Appreciate you very much, Indy. I am very happy that you talked to me. I really am. Thank you. And then we've got Uncle Warren, Extra Bulla. And last but not least, we have the Dissident, who does the 307 Substack. And I believe also a YouTube channel, the Dissident. So, great group of people. Not everybody I've spoken to personally, but almost everybody on here. And the way that this is set up is so much, it's not a lot of pressure. It's very much like low-key. We just kind of hang out and decide what we're going to do. We all do our own thing and then get on Discord and Twitter and decide if we're going to do roundtables. And eventually we're going to have round-the-clock content going up on the INN. So, love you guys. I really appreciate you guys inviting me. I couldn't be prouder, more honored to be part of the INN, and I'm going to keep with it forever, as long as it exists. So let's keep going, guys. You had me at hello, and let's destroy the establishment together. I was in love right then and there. So I appreciate you guys. I will post a link tree below. And this is basically we're also in contact with the Fred Hampton Leftists and other Mikasa Sukasa. We're in contact with all of them, and we're going to do a lot of collaboration between networks as well. So this is exactly what I always hoped, guys. Create that political fight club hive mind of lefty or independent news that kind of bounces off each other's shows and doesn't count too much on each other in terms of output in the content. And everybody does their own shows on the side, but then collaborates at these hubs. And that way we'll blanket the airwaves with good content. And all of these people, if you know anything about anybody on this list, they're all very like-minded. They're all about changing the world for the better and tearing down the establishment. So we all have one common goal, and we're uniting around it. And there's no contracts. It's just, let's do this together and treat it like a family. So I could not be more honored or more excited. So I thank you guys, everybody on that list. I love you. Everybody else, I also love you. But give these people a sub, please. Consider subscribing to their Substacks and on YouTube as well. That would help us out a lot. And you won't be disappointed. There's going to be some great content coming out, guys. I guarantee it. So keep fighting the good fight out there, guys. We'll talk to you later.